launching a tasty pastry. It's a low-carb Pop-Tart. It's got 3 to 4 grams of net carbs, and we love this show. This is our best place to be in LA.
Welcome back to Legendary Foods Muscle in the Morning. I'm Dave Palumbo, and today is Wednesday, February 16th, 2022. And let's find out what's going on in the world of bodybuilding and fitness. Since we're still a few weeks away from our next Recap Wednesday, this felt like a good idea to slip in this update from Boston Pro, which looks like it has the potential to be one of the most exciting events of the season. One of the really intriguing things about the men's open lineup is that it's going to feature Regan Grimes, Steve Kuclo, and Justin Rodriguez, who will all be coming off the Arnold Classic, looking to secure a win and Olympia qualification. Now, because we typically don't see shows with this level of talent so early in the season, it should be interesting to see what impact this has on the strategy of some of these athletes taking it into the heart of the contest season. Because if someone can secure a win early, which would allow them to essentially take the rest of the season off to prepare for the Olympia, well, it could end up being a tremendous advantage in the long run. When one door closes, another opens. And maybe in this case, the door closing on Nathan Asha's Arnold Classic dreams might open up an opportunity for someone like Brett Wilkin to step up and fill the void. Those of you who have been following Brett know that he's been, pulling out all the stops over the last few weeks, which includes making the trek from Colorado down to Florida to train with his team for the home stretch of his prep. Look, we've talked about this over and over about how top-heavy this lineup is, but with Nathan being out, it potentially opens up a spot in that first call-out that would have been occupied. So if Brett can make the best of it, this could end up being a huge moment in his career. Here's a fun fact for you. Did you know that there are only 2 women in history who've won 3 consecutive fitness international titles since it started back in 1994? Think about that for a second. In an industry like ours that's dominated by eras, over the last 28 years, only Adela Garcia and Oksana Grishina have won 3 straight international titles. That's the entire list, and it's also a big part of the reason why Missy Truscott's run up to this show is fascinating. Not only does she have a shot at history, she also has a chance to reestablish herself as the top talent in the division if she shows up at her best. And for athletes like her, when the pressure is on, it's like a switch flips, and the next thing you know, there they are, rising to the occasion. And before we sign off today, we want to send a big get well soon shout out to Nathan Asha as he ventures down the road to recovery once again after undergoing surgery to fix a partially torn bicep last week. According to Nathan, he suffered the injury in the gym a little more than a week ago, and after consulting with his team of doctors, they opted to go the surgical route as opposed to waiting it out and extending the recovery time while the injury naturally healed. This obviously means that he'll be out of the Arnold Classic, as we mentioned earlier, which is disappointing for the fans. But in a video on Instagram, he did say he was hoping to compete again in 2023, so he can showcase his best on one of the biggest stages in bodybuilding. So from all of us here at the show, I want to wish a speedy recovery and say that we know the fans can't wait to see a revamped and reloaded Nathan Asha and how he looks on stage next year. And that does it for yet another edition of Muscle in the Morning. I'm Dave Palumbo, reminding you to always be true to your passions and make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.